The Valkyrie ships moved through space like dark sharks hunting in an endless ocean. 12 massive warships, each one big enough to carry a small city, sailed toward the small blue planet that their computers called Terra 3. Admiral Thex Mora stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the data screens with satisfied eyes. This would be easy. The planet ahead showed all the signs of a simple farming world: basic orbital stations, weak energy readings, primitive flying machines that barely left the atmosphere. The people down there probably still used animals to pull their farming equipment. "Sir," called his sensor officer, "we're getting closer to the target world. Should we prepare for battle?" Thex Mora laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Battle? Against farmers? No, prepare for harvest. These humans will surrender as soon as they see our ships." 300 light-years away, on the planet they called Earth, Commander Hyunwoo Kim watched the alien ships on his screens. He sat in what looked like a simple orbital station, the kind that might monitor weather or track farming satellites. But Hyunwoo knew better. Behind the fake walls and false readings, this station held enough weapons to destroy a small moon. "They're taking the bait," he said into his communication device. "All stations, maintain the act. Let them think we're just farmers." Down on Earth's surface, in a bunker deep beneath the city of Seoul, Dr. So-Jin Kim worked at a computer terminal that showed the position of every alien ship. Around her, hundreds of other people monitored screens and typed commands. But if aliens looked down from space, all they would see was a simple building that made food products. So-Jin was Hyunwoo's sister, and like him, she had spent her whole life preparing for this day. Their grandparents had helped build the first hidden weapons. Their parents had improved them. Now it was their turn to use them. "The fish are swimming into the net," So-Jin said to her team. "Signal all underground cities. Begin final preparations." Across Earth, the signal reached secret bases hidden beneath mountains, under oceans, and inside what looked like ordinary buildings. For 300 years, humanity had been building and waiting. They had learned the hard lesson that the galaxy was full of predators who took what they wanted from weaker species. So, Earth had pretended to be weak. Administrator Jae-min Park sat in what the aliens thought was Earth's main government building. In reality, it was just a normal office building in a small town. The real government worked from bases so well hidden that even most humans didn't know where they were. Park practiced looking scared and confused as he prepared to talk to the aliens. He had trained for this role his whole life, just as his father and grandfather had before him. The Park family had been practicing how to surrender convincingly for 6 generations. His communication screen lit up as the alien ships got close enough to send messages. "Primitive humans of Terra 3, came a voice that sounded like rocks falling down a mountain. "This is Admiral Thex Mora of the Valkyrie Empire. Your world now belongs to us. Prepare your farming output reports and population counts. Resistance will result in the destruction of your cities." Park made his voice shake with fear. "Please, great aliens, we are just simple farmers. We grow food and raise animals. We have no weapons, no armies. Please don't hurt us. We will give you whatever you want." On the alien flagship, Thex Mora smiled. This was going exactly as planned. His ships surrounded the planet while his officers scanned for military targets. They found nothing dangerous. Some odd energy readings here and there, but probably just their primitive power systems. "Sir," reported his weapons officer, "I'm detecting some unusual signatures from the surface. Should we investigate?" "Unusual. How?" Thex Mora asked. "Hard to say, sir. Some of their farming equipment gives off more energy than expected, and their orbital stations seem to have some extra systems." Thex Mora waved a dismissive hand. "Primitive technology always looks strange to our sensors. These humans probably don't even understand how their own machines work." He was wrong. Captain Min-Ho Lee floated in the command center of what sensors showed as a large agricultural processing plant floating in Earth's upper atmosphere. To alien eyes, it looked like a place where humans might package food for shipment to other planets. The energy readings suggested powerful food processing machines. In reality, Min-Ho commanded the fortress ship Baekdu, one of 50 such vessels hidden in Earth's atmosphere. The ship was 3 times larger than any alien vessel, and its weapons could turn a small country into glass. All ships Maintain stealth mode, Minho commanded. Let them get close. The closer they are, the less chance any of them escape to warn others. Around Earth, similar ships waited. Some floated in the atmosphere, disguised as weather control systems. Others sat on the ocean floor, looking like underwater mining platforms. A few orbited the planet, pretending to be communication satellites. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy the entire alien fleet. Engineer Yujin Han worked 3 kilometers underground beneath the city of Busan. Above her, the surface looked like a normal port city where ships carried farm products to other countries. Below, Yujin helped maintain the largest weapon ever built by human hands. The underground cities were humanity's greatest secret. When the first alien visitors had come centuries ago, humans had learned quickly that the galaxy was not a safe place. So they had gone underground, building vast cities beneath the surface while leaving only small towns visible from space. Weapons systems charging to 30%, Yujin reported. All continental defense grids are ready. Lieutenant Colonel Da-eun Choi flew her ship between the alien vessels, acting like a nervous cargo pilot trying to deliver farming supplies. Her ship looked old and slow, and she made sure to fly it badly, like someone who was scared and not very skilled. "Please don't shoot," she broadcast to the aliens. "I'm just carrying vegetables to the space station. I'll land right away if you want." The aliens ignored her, just as she hoped they would. While pretending to be a frightened cargo pilot, Daeun used her ship's hidden sensors to map every alien vessel. Her old cargo ship carried scanning equipment more advanced than anything else in the galaxy. "Target information uploaded," she reported on a secret channel. "All weak points identified." Mayor Taehyun Park stood in what looked like the capital, city of humanity's farming region. In reality, it was just a normal town that happened to have a nice-looking government building. The real decisions were made by people the aliens would never see, in places they would never find. "Great Admiral," Park said over the communication system, making his voice sound small and afraid. "We are honored by your visit. Our harvest this year was very good. We can give you much food if you promise not to hurt our families." Dr. Sung-Min Yoon listened to these conversations from his command post, built inside a mountain that aliens thought was just a natural formation. As Earth's chief military strategist, Sung-Min had spent 40 years planning for this exact situation. Every human knew their role. Every city, every ship, every orbital station was both a trap and a weapon. The aliens thought they were surrounding a helpless farming world. In reality, they had flown into the most deadly ambush in galactic history. "All systems show green," Sung-Min reported to his superiors. "The enemy is in position. We can begin the operation whenever you give the order." The order would come soon. Humanity had spent 3 centuries preparing for this day, building weapons in secret, training in hidden places, and waiting for the right moment to show the galaxy what they could really do. That moment was almost here. Admiral Thexamora looked at his tactical display and felt satisfaction. His ships controlled all space around the planet. The humans were begging for mercy and offering to surrender their food supplies. This would be remembered as one of the easiest conquests in Velkari history. He had no idea that he was about to make the worst mistake any military commander had ever made. The trap was set. The prey had taken the bait. All that remained was to spring it. Admiral Thexamora felt very pleased with himself as his fleet moved into perfect attack positions around the small blue planet. His 12 warships spread out like the points of a star, each one pointing weapons at the helpless world below. This was exactly how a proper conquest should go. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "the humans are sending more messages. They want to negotiate surrender terms." "Let them wait," Thexamora replied with amusement. "Fear makes them more cooperative. Have our science teams finished scanning their technology?" "Yes, sir. Very primitive. Basic fusion power, simple metal ships, chemical rockets. Their most advanced weapons appear to be kinetic projectiles. No energy shields, no plasma weapons, no faster-than-light capability." Thexamora nodded. These humans were even more backward than the intelligence report suggested. His fleet could probably conquer this world without firing a single shot. Deep beneath the city of Busan, Engineer Yujin Han monitored the alien fleet's movements on screens that showed every detail of their ships. Her workplace looked like a simple underground factory that made farming equipment. But the massive space around her contained some of the most advanced technology in the galaxy. All continental defense systems are linked, Yujin reported to her commander. Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, and Australia are all ready. Each continent can independently destroy the entire enemy fleet. Around her, thousands of engineers worked at stations that controlled weapons built over 3 centuries. Hidden beneath every major landmass, these facilities had taken 50 generations of humans to complete. Each was designed to look like something else from above. Mining operations, geothermal plants, underground farms. Lieutenant Colonel Da-Un Choi continued her act as a nervous cargo pilot, flying her disguised ship between the alien vessels. To their sensors, she appeared to be a frightened human trying to deliver farm supplies while hoping not to get shot. "Please, mighty aliens," she broadcast. "I just need to deliver these vegetables to our orbital station. Then I'll fly away and won't bother you anymore." What the aliens didn't know was that Da-Un's cargo ship was actually the most advanced stealth vessel humanity had ever built. While pretending to carry vegetables, she was conducting detailed scans of every alien weapon, shield generator, and engine system. "Shield rotation frequency mapped," she reported on the secret military channel. "Weapon charge patterns recorded. Engine coolant systems identified. All target data uploaded to the battle network." The alien ships had no secrets left. Da-Un's sensors had found every weakness, every vulnerable spot, every system that could be exploited. Her ship's computers were already calculating exactly how to destroy each enemy vessel with minimum energy expenditure. Mayor Tae-hyun Park stood in his fake Capitol building, preparing for another conversation with the alien admiral. His building was actually just a normal town hall in a small farming community, but the aliens thought it was humanity's seat of government. The real government worked from locations so well hidden that they might as well have been on another planet. Command bunkers built inside mountains, underwater cities, orbital stations disguised as space debris. The true leaders of humanity remained completely invisible to alien sensors. "Admiral Thex Mora," Park said when the communication channel opened, "we have prepared a list of our agricultural output. We can provide you with grain, fruit, vegetables, and livestock. Please tell us how much you need, and we will gather it for you." Park had practiced this conversation thousands of times. His job was to keep the aliens focused on the idea that Earth was nothing but a farm. Every word was carefully chosen to reinforce their belief that humans were primitive and harmless. On the alien flagship, Thex Mora studied the agricultural reports that the humans had sent. Impressive numbers, actually. This planet could feed a significant portion of the Velkari Empire. The conquest would pay for itself within a few years. "Sir," his sensor officer called out, "I'm getting some unusual readings from the planet's surface. Some of these energy signatures don't match typical farming equipment." Thex Mora looked at the data with mild interest. "What kind of signatures?" "Hard to say, sir. Some areas show power consumption levels that seem high for agricultural processing, and a few of their orbital installations have components that look more complex than necessary for farming satellites." Probably stolen technology, Thex Mora decided. These primitive species often find wreckage from advanced civilizations and try to use equipment they don't understand. It never works properly, which explains the odd readings. The sensor officer nodded, but he still felt uneasy. Something about this planet didn't feel right, though he couldn't explain what bothered him. He was more correct than he knew. Captain Woo-Jin Kim stood in the command center of what alien sensors identified as Earth's largest agricultural processing facility. The massive complex appeared to be a place where humans packaged food for export to other worlds. Energy readings suggested powerful food processing machinery and large storage systems. In reality, Kim commanded the hidden dreadnought Sejong, a warship larger than any 3 alien vessels combined. The ship had spent 2 centuries disguised. As a food processing plant, its weapons hidden behind false walls and its engines concealed beneath fake machinery. "All weapons systems ready," Kim reported to the battle network. "We can engage on your command." Around the globe, 50 similar ships waited for the signal. Some hid in the atmosphere, pretending to be weather control stations. Others sat on the ocean floor, disguised as underwater mining platforms. Each one carried enough firepower to level a continent. Intelligence Officer Ha-Young Lee worked in a facility that looked like a communication center for farming cooperatives. Her job was to monitor alien communications and learn their true intentions. What she discovered made her angry. "Command, this is Intelligence Station 7, she reported. "I've intercepted detailed Velkari plans for this planet. They're not just here for food." "Explain," came the reply from her superior. "They plan to strip mine every valuable mineral on Earth. The entire ecosystem will be destroyed. All humans will be enslaved and used as workers in their mining operations. They expect us to survive about 5 years under their working conditions." Ha Young had known this was likely, but hearing the aliens discuss it so casually still made her furious. They talked about destroying her world the way someone might discuss trimming a garden. "Estimated human casualties?" her commander asked. 100%, sir. They consider us expendable." The aliens had just sealed their own fate. Commander Ji-Hai Park commanded what appeared to be a simple orbital station that monitored Earth's weather patterns. To alien scans, her facility looked like a basic scientific platform with minimal defensive capabilities. Ji-Hai actually commanded the orbital fortress Dokdo, which controlled a network of weapon platforms disguised as communication satellites. Her station could coordinate defensive fire from every hidden installation in Earth's orbital space. "Admiral Subin Choi sends her regards," came a message on the secure channel. "The outer system fleet is in position. All escape routes are blocked." Ji-Hai smiled grimly. Admiral Choi commanded humanity's deep space fleet from bases built inside asteroids that had been hollowed out and converted into mobile fortresses. For 75 years, these hidden ships had slowly moved into perfect positions around Earth's solar system. The aliens thought they were surrounding a helpless planet. In reality, they were trapped in a cage built over 3 centuries. Commander Hyun Soo Nam watched the tactical display from his position aboard the orbital station that aliens thought was just a weather monitoring platform. Every alien ship was now in optimal position for what humanity called the Great Reveal. 300 years of preparation were about to pay off. "Sir," his weapons officer reported, "all alien vessels are now within the engagement zone. No escape vectors available." Nam looked at the display showing 12 alien warships surrounding what they thought was a defenseless farming world. Soon, those aliens would learn what humans had really been doing during their centuries of apparent peace. "Signal all stations," Nam ordered. "Prepare for Phase 1. On my mark, we drop the masquerade." Across Earth and throughout the solar system, thousands of hidden weapons came online. Continent-sized defense grids powered up. Disguised warships prepared to reveal themselves. Orbital platforms dropped their false signatures. The most elaborate deception in galactic history was about to end. Admiral Thex Mora stood on his bridge, completely unaware that he had just entered the killing ground of the most dangerous military force the galaxy had ever seen. "Begin final approach," he ordered. "Prepare to take control of the planet's orbital space." He had no idea that he had already lost the battle. The trap was about to be sprung. Admiral Thex Mora felt confident as his fleet moved into final attack positions around the blue planet. This was going to be the easiest conquest in Velkari military history. The humans were already begging for mercy and offering to hand over their food supplies. "Open a channel to all human communication centers," Thex Mora ordered. "It's time to make our demands clear." His communications officer activated the transmission system. Thex Mora's voice would now reach every human settlement on the planet and in orbit. "Primitive humans of Terra 3, he began in his most threatening tone. "Your world now belongs to the Velkari Empire. You will immediately surrender all military forces, though we doubt you have any worth mentioning. You will provide complete agricultural output reports and prepare your population for work assignments." He paused for effect, enjoying the moment. "Any resistance will result in the complete destruction of your cities. You have 1 hour to comply." What Thex Mora didn't know was that his demands were being heard in command bunkers built inside mountains, in underwater cities hidden beneath Earth's oceans, and aboard warships disguised as farming equipment. Every human military leader was listening, and none of them were afraid. Captain Woo Jin Kim stood in the command center of the massive ship that aliens thought was Earth's largest food processing plant. The facility looked innocent from outside, just another agricultural complex floating in the planet's upper atmosphere. In reality, Kim commanded the dreadnought Sejong, a warship that had taken 80 years to build and another century to perfect. The ship was 3 times larger than the alien flagship and carried weapons that could turn entire moons into dust. "Did you hear that?" Kim asked his weapons officer. They want us to surrender our military forces. His crew laughed quietly. The aliens had no idea what humanity's military forces actually looked like. Sir, his sensor officer reported. The TIE. Aliens are beginning to target what they think are our major cities. They're preparing to demonstrate their power by destroying civilian areas. Kim's expression became deadly serious. Threatening to harvest Earth's resources was one thing. Threatening to kill innocent people was something else entirely. Signal. All ships, Kim ordered. The aliens just crossed the line. Prepare for immediate action. Intelligence Officer Ha-Young Lee intercepted the alien communications from her hidden facility beneath what looked like a small farming town. The Velkari were discussing which human cities to destroy first as examples to the others. They're planning to hit Seoul, New York, London, and Tokyo, she reported to the command network. They want to kill about 50 million people to make the rest of us cooperate faster. The response from her commanders was immediate and angry. Humanity had spent 3 centuries preparing for this moment, but they had hoped the aliens might be reasonable. The Velkari had just proven they were nothing but murderers. All stations, this is Command Authority 1, came a voice that Ha-Young recognized as belonging to the Supreme Military Council. The masquerade is hereby terminated. All units are authorized to reveal and engage. Repeat, the masquerade is over. For the first time in 300 years, humanity was about to show its true face to the galaxy. Commander Ji-Hai Park commanded what aliens thought was a simple weather monitoring station in Earth's orbit. To their sensors, her facility looked like a basic scientific platform that tracked storms and measured atmospheric conditions. Ji-Hai actually commanded the orbital fortress Dokdo, which controlled a network of weapon platforms disguised as communication satellites throughout Earth's orbital space. Her station alone could destroy every alien ship, but she wouldn't be fighting alone. All orbital defense platforms, this is Dokdo Command, she transmitted on the secure military network. Drop stealth mode and prepare for combat. Target assignments are being uploaded now. Around Earth, dozens of innocent-looking satellites suddenly reconfigured themselves. Solar panels folded back to reveal weapon barrels. Communication dishes rotated to become targeting systems. Equipment that had looked like scientific instruments transformed into the deadliest orbital defense network ever created. From her position deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, Dr. Sojin Kim watched tactical displays that showed the position of every human military asset in the solar system. As Earth's senior strategic coordinator, she had spent her entire career preparing for this day. Phase 1 activation confirmed, she reported to the Global Command Network. All continental defense systems are online. All orbital platforms are ready. All fleet assets are in position. Around her, displays lit up showing the massive weapons hidden beneath every continent. Particle beam cannons built inside mountains, plasma artillery concealed beneath ocean floors, missile systems disguised as geothermal plants. Each continent could independently destroy the entire alien fleet. Begin the great reveal, Dr. Sojin ordered. Admiral Subin Choi commanded humanity's deep space fleet from her flagship, hidden inside what aliens thought was just another asteroid. For 75 years, her ships had slowly moved into position throughout the outer solar system, patient as hunting spiders. All vessels, this is Fleet Command, she transmitted. Drop concealment and move to engagement positions. Cut off all alien escape routes. Nothing gets away. Throughout the solar system, asteroids suddenly revealed themselves to be massive warships. Mining platforms transformed into battle fortresses. Communication relays became weapons platforms. The aliens had flown into a trap 3 centuries in the making. Commander Hyun-Soo Nam watched from his orbital command post as humanity's true military might began to reveal itself. The moment he had trained his whole life for was finally here. Sir, his tactical officer reported, all systems show ready. Every alien ship is tracked and targeted. We can begin engagement at your command. Nam looked at the display showing 12 alien warships scattered around Earth. Soon, those ships would learn what humans had really been building during their centuries of apparent peace. On the alien flagship, Sensor Officer Kex Thyra suddenly noticed something very wrong with his readings. Admiral, he called out urgently, I'm detecting massive energy spikes all across the planet. These readings don't match agricultural equipment. Thex Mora looked at the sensor display with growing confusion. Energy signatures were appearing, everywhere on the planet's surface. Orbital stations were reconfiguring themselves. Even some of the asteroids in the outer system were showing unexpected readings. "What kind of energy spikes?" Thexamora demanded. "Sir, these look like weapon systems powering up. Very large weapon systems. And I'm detecting ship signatures that weren't there before. Multiple ship signatures." Thexamora felt the first touch of real concern. "How many ships?" Kexthyra checked his readings twice before answering. "Sir, I count at least 50 major vessels in the planet's atmosphere alone, and more appearing in the outer system. These signatures suggest ships much larger than ours." "That's impossible," Thexamora snapped. "Our intelligence reports clearly stated this was a primitive farming world." "Sir," his weapons officer interrupted, "the humans are responding to our surrender demand." Administrator Jae-min Park appeared on the communication screen, but he no longer looked like a frightened farmer. His expression was calm and coldly professional. "Admiral Thexamora," Park said in a voice that held no fear at all, "thank you for making your intentions clear. We now understand exactly what kind of visitors you are." Park paused, and when he spoke again, his voice carried the authority of someone who represented a much more dangerous civilization than the aliens had imagined. "You have threatened to destroy our cities and kill our people. You have declared your intention to strip our world bare and enslave our population. These actions mark you as enemies of humanity." Thexamora felt confusion turning to alarm. This human no longer sounded like a primitive farmer. "In response to your threats," Park continued, "Earth's true government has authorized the termination of our peaceful masquerade. You are about to discover what humanity has really been doing for the past 3 centuries. The communication screen went dark. On his bridge, Thexamora stared at displays that showed energy readings spiking all across the planet. Whatever was happening down there, it was massive. "Sir," Kexthyra reported with growing panic, "I'm reading weapon signatures that register larger than anything in our database, and they're everywhere. The entire planet appears to be armed." "All ships, prepare for combat," Thexamora ordered, but his voice carried none of its earlier confidence. He was beginning to understand that his fleet might be in serious trouble. Captain Minho Lee stood aboard the fortress ship Baekdu as it prepared to drop its disguise. For decades, his vessel had appeared to be a simple atmospheric processing plant. In moments, the aliens would see what it really was. "All hands, prepare for combat configuration," he announced to his crew. "It's time to show these aliens what human engineering can accomplish." Around Earth, similar announcements were being made aboard dozens of hidden warships. The masquerade that had protected humanity for 3 centuries was about to end. The galaxy was about to learn what humans could do when they stopped pretending to be harmless. What happened next would be talked about in alien military academies for the next 1,000 years as the most devastating tactical surprise in galactic history. Captain Minho Lee stood on the bridge of the Baekdu as his ship prepared to reveal its true nature. For over a century, the massive vessel had floated in Earth's upper atmosphere, disguised as an atmospheric processing plant. The aliens had scanned it dozens of times and seen exactly what they expected to see. Industrial equipment? For managing a farming planet's air quality, they were about to learn how wrong they had been. "Begin transformation sequence," Minho ordered. Around his ship, sections that had appeared to be atmospheric processors began to fold back like the petals of a massive metal flower. Weapon barrels emerged from concealed housings, shield generators, activated with brilliant flashes of blue energy. Engine systems that had been hidden for decades roared to life. But the Baekdu was not alone. All across Earth's sky, similar transformations began simultaneously. What had appeared to be weather monitoring stations revealed themselves as heavily armed orbital fortresses. Atmospheric processors unfolded into battleships. Communication satellites reconfigured into weapons platforms. Admiral Thexamora watched, his tactical display with growing horror as the space around Earth filled with warships that hadn't been there moments before. His sensors now showed over 50 major combat vessels where minutes ago there had been nothing but peaceful farming. "Equipment. How is this possible?" he whispered. The answer came from Commander Ji-Hai Park aboard the orbital fortress Dokdo. Her facility had appeared to be a simple weather station right up until the moment its disguise dropped away to reveal the most Advanced weapons platform in known space. Alien vessels, she broadcast on all frequencies. You are now surrounded by the combined military forces of Earth. You have threatened our world and our people. Surrender immediately or face the consequences. Captain. Woo Jin Kim watched from the bridge of the Sejong as his ship completed its own transformation. The massive vessel had spent decades disguised as Earth's largest food processing facility. Now it revealed its true nature as a dreadnought 3 times the size of the alien flagship. Target the lead alien vessel, Kim ordered his weapons officer. Minimum power setting. Let's show them what our weapons can do. The Sejong's main cannon fired a beam of energy that was barely a fraction of its full power. The blast struck the shields of an alien cruiser and overloaded them instantly. The ship's defensive systems failed in a cascade of electrical failures that left it helpless in space. On the alien flagship, Thexamora realized with growing panic that his entire fleet was now trapped in the crosshairs of an enemy force far more powerful than anything the Velkari had ever encountered. All ships, prepare to retreat, he ordered. Sir, his navigation officer called out. Retreat course is blocked. I'm detecting multiple large vessels in the outer system. Admiral Subin. Choi smiled grimly as her hidden fleet revealed itself throughout the solar system. Ships that had been disguised as asteroids for decades suddenly activated their engines and weapons. Mining platforms transformed into mobile battle fortresses. Communication relays became heavily armed picket ships. This is Admiral Choi commanding. The Earth Defense Fleet, she broadcast to the alien ships. You are completely surrounded. Your ships are outnumbered 12-1 and outgunned by a factor of 50. This is your only chance to surrender. On planet Earth itself, even more dramatic changes were taking place. Dr. Sojin Kim coordinated the activation of continental defense systems that had been built over 3 centuries of careful preparation. Mountain ranges split open to reveal massive weapon emplacements. What had appeared to be geothermal plants revealed themselves as artillery positions capable of hitting targets in orbit. Ocean floors rose as underwater cities surfaced, their weapons trained on the sky. Engineer Yu Jin Han worked frantically at her control station as the Asian Continental Defense Grid came online. Around her, the underground facility that had pretended to be a simple manufacturing plant revealed its true purpose as the command center for weapons that could crack planets. All systems optimal, she reported. Continental Grid is ready for engagement. Similar reports came in from every continent. Africa's hidden mountain fortresses were online. Europe's concealed Arctic bases were ready. North America's disguised facilities were armed and targeted. South America's jungle-hidden weapons were prepared. Australia's outback installations were fully operational. The entire planet had become a weapon. Lieutenant Colonel Da-Yun Choi dropped her act as a frightened cargo pilot as her ship revealed its true capabilities. What had appeared to be an old slow transport vessel suddenly accelerated beyond anything the aliens thought possible. This is Colonel Choi aboard the stealth destroyer Hwarang, she announced as her ship's weapons came online. We've been mapping your weak points for the past hour. Your shield frequencies are compromised, your weapon patterns are known, and your engine vulnerabilities are targeted. The aliens tried to respond, but their systems couldn't track Da-Un's ship as it moved between their vessels like a ghost. Human technology, refined in secret for 3 centuries, was generations ahead of anything else in the galaxy. Commander Hyun Soo Nam coordinated the massive reveal from his orbital command post. Displays around him showed the positions of every human military asset as they dropped their disguises and revealed their true nature. Phase 2 is complete, he reported to the global command network. All enemy vessels are targeted and tracked. We have achieved total tactical superiority. The transformation was breathtaking in its scope and precision. In less than 10 minutes, what had appeared to be a helpless farming world had revealed itself as the most heavily fortified planet in galactic history. Admiral Thexamora found himself commanding 12 ships against a force that included hundreds of warships, orbital fortresses, planetary defense grids, and weapons systems he couldn't even identify. His tactical computer estimated that the human forces could destroy his entire fleet in under 3 minutes. Sir, his communications officer called out with a shaking voice, "The humans are sending another message." Admiral Subin Choi appeared on the screen, speaking from the bridge of a ship that registered on sensors as having enough firepower to sterilize several worlds. "Admiral Thexamora," she said calmly, You came here expecting to find helpless farmers. Instead, you have discovered that humanity spent the last 3 centuries preparing for visitors exactly like you. Choi paused to let that sink in. Your ships are surrounded and outgunned. Your escape routes are blocked. Your shields cannot protect you from our weapons. This engagement can end one of 2 ways, with your surrender or with your complete destruction. On his bridge, Thex Mora looked at tactical displays that showed his fleet surrounded by an overwhelming force. Energy readings indicated that the humans possessed weapons technology far beyond anything the Velkari had ever encountered. "What are your surrender terms?" he asked quietly. "Unconditional," Choi replied. "Power down all weapons and prepare to be boarded. You will be held as prisoners of war while we decide what to do with species that threaten to destroy innocent worlds." Thex Mora realized he had no choice. His intelligence reports had been completely wrong. These weren't primitive farmers. They were the most dangerous military force he had ever encountered. But before he could respond, his weapons officer made a fatal mistake. "Sir, if we concentrate all our fire on one section of their line, we might be able to break through and escape." "No," Thex Mora began, but his panicked officer had already begun targeting the nearest human ship. Captain Woo Jin Kim saw the alien weapon systems charging up and shook his head sadly. "They chose poorly. All ships, you are free to engage. End this quickly." What followed could barely be called a battle. It was more like a demonstration of what 3 centuries of human military development could accomplish. The Sejong's main guns fired at full power, turning the alien cruiser that had threatened it into superheated plasma in seconds. Around Earth, dozens of other human ships opened fire simultaneously. The alien shields lasted less than 30 seconds against weapons that had been designed specifically to overwhelm any defensive system. Their hulls, made of the finest materials, the Velkari could produce, proved to be no more effective than paper against human energy beams. In 18 minutes, it was over. 12 alien warships had been reduced to debris and expanding clouds of gas. Not a single alien had survived to carry word of what they had found. "Battle concluded," Captain Min Ho Lee reported. "All enemy vessels destroyed, no human casualties. Commander." Ji-Hai Park began coordinating the cleanup efforts. "Deploy recovery ships to collect alien technology and survivors from escape pods. Standard prisoner protocols are in effect, but there were no survivors. The aliens had never even managed to launch escape pods." Dr. Sojin Kim looked at her displays showing the debris field that had once been an alien fleet. The battle that humanity had prepared for over 3 centuries had lasted less than 20 minutes. "Signal all stations," she ordered. "Return to stealth configuration. Resume peaceful protocols. The masquerade continues for now." Around Earth, the massive weapons began to fold back into their hiding places. Ships returned to their disguises as atmospheric. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire in a dry forest. Admiral Kexathera of the Zephyrian Confederation stood in his command center reading reports that seemed impossible to believe. An entire Velkari fleet, 12 dreadnoughts, and their escort ships had simply vanished near a world that intelligence files described as primitive agricultural colony, no military significance. "Run these reports through analysis again," he ordered his intelligence staff. "There must be an error," but there was no error. The Velkari Empire had lost contact with Admiral Thexamora's fleet 3 days ago. The last transmission had been routine, the Admiral reporting successful approach to the farming world called Terra 3. Then, silence. A rescue fleet sent to investigate had found only debris. Scattered metal fragments that analysis confirmed came from Velkari warships. No survivors, no distress signals, no explanation of what could have destroyed 12 of the most powerful ships in known space. Dr. Sojin Kim monitored these communications from her hidden command center beneath Seoul. Alien intelligence services across the galaxy were frantically trying to understand what had happened to the Velkari fleet. None of them suspected the truth. "How are the other species reacting?" she asked her intelligence team. "Panic, mostly," reported her chief analyst. "The Hegemony Council has called an emergency session. Every major power is reassessing their intelligence files on Earth. Some are starting to ask very uncomfortable questions." Sojin smiled grimly. For 3 centuries, humanity had carefully cultivated the image of a harmless farming world. That image was now cracking under the weight of suspicious minds. Captain Yuri Seo commanded the diplomatic vessel Hwarang as it approached the capital world of the Altarian Republic. To alien sensors, her ship appeared to be a simple passenger transport carrying trade representatives from the farming world Terra 3. The reality was somewhat different. "Captain," her weapons officer reported, "their orbital defense platforms are scanning us very thoroughly, much more detailed than usual." "Let them scan," Yuri replied calmly. "They won't find anything they can understand. The Hwarang was designed to appear completely innocent to any alien sensor system, but ship's weapons could turn the planet's capital city into a crater, and its defenses could withstand attacks from entire fleets. The aliens scanning it saw only what humanity wanted them to see." "Altarian Control, this is Captain Seo requesting permission to dock," she transmitted. "We carry trade representatives and samples of our agricultural products." The response came, quickly, but with an undercurrent of nervousness that hadn't been there before. "Permission granted, Terra 3 vessel. Please proceed to Civilian Docking Bay 7. As her ship moved toward the space station, Yuri noted the increased military presence. Twice as many patrol ships as usual. Defense platforms fully powered. The aliens were scared, even if they didn't want to admit it. Representative Jae-Sung Park sat in the passenger compartment of the Hwarang, reviewing his briefing materials for the diplomatic meetings ahead. As Earth's first official representative, to the galactic community, he carried a heavy responsibility. His job was to maintain the careful balance between revealing enough truth to gain respect while keeping enough secrets to maintain security. The galaxy now knew that Earth was more dangerous than anyone had suspected. The question was how much more dangerous. "We're approaching the station," Captain Seo announced. "Are you ready for this?" Jae-Sung nodded. "As ready as anyone can be for rewriting 3 centuries of galactic politics." On the Hegemony Council's capital world, the emergency session was already underway. Representatives from dozens of species gathered in the Great Assembly Hall, all trying to understand the same mystery. "The facts are simple," announced Council Speaker Veltaran, a tall being whose species had been mediating galactic disputes for millennia. "A major military fleet has been completely destroyed near a world we all believe to be primitive and harmless. We need answers." Ambassador Thek Moran of the Stellar Alliance stood to address the assembly. "My government has reviewed all available intelligence on Terra 3. Our files show a peaceful agricultural world with no significant military capabilities. Yet something in that system destroyed 12 Velkari dreadnoughts without sending a single distress signal." Murmurs of concern rippled through the assembly. The implications were troubling. If their intelligence about Earth was so completely wrong, what else might they have misunderstood? "Perhaps," suggested the representative from the Cosmic Trade Federation, "we should invite these humans to explain themselves." Dr. Kyung-Min Lee worked in a laboratory hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean, studying fragments of alien technology recovered from the destroyed Velkari fleet. Her team was making disturbing discoveries. "The Velkari weapons were more advanced than our intelligence suggested," she reported to her superiors, "but still at least 50 years behind our current capabilities." She paused to review her analysis. "More concerning is what we found in their computer systems. The Velkari had detailed plans for strip mining Earth. They expected to kill every human on the planet and extract every valuable mineral from our world. This information was being shared with Earth's leadership as they planned humanity's next moves. The galaxy was full of predatory species who viewed weaker civilizations as resources to be harvested. Earth's masquerade had protected them from this fate, but the masquerade was becoming harder to maintain. Fleet Admiral Subin Choi commanded from the bridge of her flagship Cheonji, now operating openly in Earth's outer system. The massive vessel no longer needed to hide behind the disguise of an asteroid mining platform. "Admiral," her communications officer reported, "we're receiving diplomatic inquiries from 17 different species. They all want to send representatives to Earth." "What kind of inquiries?" Subin asked. "Trade partnerships mostly. Also, several requests for military cooperation agreements. And at least 3 marriage proposals from alien nobles who apparently find the idea of humans attractive." Subin laughed despite herself. 3 centuries of hiding, and now they want to be our friends because they're afraid of us." But she knew the situation was more complex than that. Some species were genuinely interested in peaceful relations. Others were probably planning to probe for weaknesses. A few might be considering preemptive strikes against what they now perceived as a major threat. Commander Woo Young Kim patrolled the Outer Rim aboard the stealth destroyer Munmu, part of humanity's new mission to protect smaller species from predatory empires. The galaxy's bullies were learning that their actions now had consequences. "Captain," his sensor officer reported, "I'm detecting a hegemony patrol attacking a civilian convoy from the Peaceful Worlds Alliance." "Standard piracy?" Woo Young asked. "Looks like it, sir. 3 hegemony cruisers against a convoy of unarmed cargo ships." Woo Young considered his options. 6 months ago, humanity would have ignored this situation to maintain their cover as peaceful farmers. But things had changed. "Signal the hegemony ships," he ordered. "Inform them that their attack violates galactic law and demand they withdraw immediately." "Sir," they're responding. "They want to know who we are and by what authority we're interfering." "Tell them we represent Earth," Woo Young replied. That should be sufficient. It was. The hegemony ships immediately broke off their attack and retreated at maximum speed. Word of what had happened to the Velkari fleet had spread quickly through military channels. Ambassador Hajin Park stood before the Galactic Trade Confederation's governing council, negotiating humanity's entry into the galactic economy. The terms being offered were unprecedented: full membership with benefits usually reserved for the most powerful civilizations. The Confederation recognizes that Earth represents a significant new factor in galactic politics, the Trade Minister explained. "We would prefer to establish positive relations rather than risk the alternative." Ha-Jin maintained his diplomatic expression, but internally he was amazed. 3 centuries ago, humanity had been ignored by the galactic community. Now they were being courted by the same organizations that had previously dismissed them as irrelevant farmers. "Earth appreciates the Confederation's generous offer," he replied carefully. "We will need time to consider all implications before making a decision." What he didn't mention was that Earth's economists had already determined that the proposed trade relationships would give humanity access to resources and technologies that would accelerate their development by centuries. Dr. Sojin Kim reviewed intelligence reports from across the galaxy as alien civilizations struggled to understand the new reality. Every major power was reassessing their military capabilities in light of Earth's demonstration of force. "The Velkari Empire is mobilizing additional fleets," her intelligence chief reported. "They want revenge for their lost ships." "Let them come," Sojin replied calmly. "We're ready for them." The Zephyrian Confederation is offering a defensive alliance. They're worried that if we can destroy Velkari fleets, we might come after them next. "Interesting. What about the smaller powers?" Mixed reactions. Some are asking for protection. Others are offering tribute in hopes we'll leave them alone. A few are trying to hire us as mercenaries. Sojin processed this information carefully. Earth's reveal of military power had created opportunities, but also dangers. 6 months after the Velkari incident, the galaxy had reorganized itself around a simple truth that changed everything. Humanity was not just another species among many, but potentially the most dangerous military force in known space. Fleet Admiral Subin Choi stood on the bridge of the Cheonji, Earth's new flagship, as it patrolled through what had once been contested space between the Velkari Empire and the Zephyrian Confederation. The massive vessel no longer needed to hide behind false asteroid disguises. Its presence alone in any star system was enough to prevent conflicts. "Admiral," her communications officer reported, "we're receiving a distress signal from a convoy of refugee ships. They're being pursued by Velkari raiders." Subin studied the tactical display. 3 Velkari attack ships were chasing a group of civilian vessels carrying families fleeing from war zones. 6 months ago, such attacks happened daily throughout this region. Now they were becoming rare, but they still occurred. "Set course to intercept," she ordered. "Signal the Velkari ships to withdraw immediately." "Ma'am, they're responding. The Velkari commander says they don't recognize Earth's authority in this region." Subin smiled coldly. "Then it's time for another education session. Target their weapons systems with minimum power. Let's remind them what happened to Admiral Thexmora's fleet. The Cheonji's weapons fired brief pulses that disabled the Velkari ships without destroying them. The raiders found themselves helpless in space, their weapon systems completely burned out by technology they couldn't understand or counter. "This is Admiral Choi," she transmitted to the disabled ships. "You have 30 minutes to retreat to Velkari space." If I see you threatening civilians again, there won't be a warning shot. The Velkari ships limped away as quickly as their damaged engines could carry them. Subin had made her point without killing anyone. But the message was clear. Earth's protection extended to those who needed it. Ambassador Ha-Jin Park sat in the Galactic Trade Confederation's finest conference room, reviewing the most favorable trade agreement in the organization's history. Every clause had been written to benefit Earth, and the alien negotiators seemed almost eager to offer additional concessions. The Confederation hopes these terms demonstrate our sincere desire for positive relations with Earth, the Trade Minister explained. We believe mutual prosperity serves everyone's interests better than conflict. Ha-Jin nodded diplomatically, but he understood the subtext perfectly. The Trade Confederation was terrified of what might happen if they made Earth an enemy. Better to make humans wealthy and happy than risk facing the same fate as the Velkari fleet. Earth appreciates the Confederation's generous spirit, he replied. We look forward to beneficial relationships with all peaceful civilizations. What the aliens didn't realize was that Earth's entry into galactic trade would accelerate human development even faster than their secret military programs had. Access to alien technologies, combined with human innovation, would create capabilities that no one could imagine. Dr. Kyungmin Lee worked in her laboratory aboard the research vessel Sejong, studying alien technologies that had previously been beyond humanity's reach. The irony wasn't lost on her. By revealing their military strength, humans had gained access to scientific knowledge that would make them even stronger. The Altarian quantum computing systems are fascinating, she reported to her research team. Primitive compared to our military applications, but they use principles we hadn't considered for civilian technology. Around her, hundreds of human scientists studied artifacts, data, and samples that alien civilizations had willingly shared in hopes of maintaining positive relations with Earth. Technologies that would have taken centuries to develop independently were now available for immediate study. Dr. Lee, her assistant called out, we're receiving another offer from the Stellar Research Institute. They want to establish a joint facility on Earth. What are they offering in exchange? Access to their complete astronomical database, including detailed maps of previously unknown systems, plus their research on exotic matter applications. Kyungmin considered the offer. Such cooperation would have been unthinkable when Earth was hiding as a farming world. Now, alien civilizations competed to share their most advanced knowledge with humanity. Commander Woo Young Kim piloted the stealth destroyer Munmu through the Outer Rim territories, where smaller civilizations struggled to survive among the predatory empires. His mission had evolved from simple patrol to active protection of species that couldn't defend themselves. Captain, his sensor officer reported, I'm detecting weapons fire in the Epsilon sector. Looks like hegemony forces attacking a civilian settlement. Woo Young checked his tactical display. A hegemony battle group was bombarding what appeared to be a peaceful farming colony. The parallels to what had almost happened to Earth were obvious and disturbing. Take us in, he ordered. Maximum stealth until we're in weapons range. The Munmu approached the attack zone undetected, its advanced stealth systems making it invisible to hegemony sensors. When Woo Young was satisfied with his position, he dropped stealth and opened fire. Hegemony ships that had been casually bombing civilian targets suddenly found themselves under attack by weapons they couldn't track or counter. In minutes, their shields failed and their weapon systems were destroyed. This is Commander Kim of the Earth Defense Force, he transmitted to the hegemony fleet. You are attacking innocent civilians. Withdraw immediately or face complete destruction. The hegemony commander's response was immediate surrender. Word of Earth's military capabilities had spread throughout the galaxy's military communities. No one wanted to test human weapons personally. Captain Min-Ho Lee commanded a patrol squadron through what had once been the most dangerous region of known space. The area between the Velkari Empire and Zephyrian Confederation had been a constant war zone for decades. Now it was peaceful. Not because the two empires had made peace, but because Earth's presence prevented either side from starting conflicts. Admiral, his navigation officer reported, we're receiving a request for mediation from both the Velkari and Zephyrian governments. They want Earth to help negotiate a permanent peace treaty. Min-Ho almost laughed. 6 months ago, both empires would have dismissed Earth as irrelevant farmers. Now they were begging for human intervention in their disputes. Signal both governments that we'll consider mediation. he replied, "but make it clear that any violation of the ceasefire will result in immediate military intervention." The threat wasn't empty. Everyone knew that Earth could enforce peace by destroying any military force that threatened stability. For the first time in galactic history, a single civilization possessed enough power to impose order on the chaos of interstellar politics. Dr. So-Jin Kim reviewed status reports from across Earth's expanding sphere of influence. Human ships now patrolled dozens of star systems, protecting trade routes and preventing conflicts. Earth's technological advantage made this possible with minimal resources. "How are the other major powers responding to our expansion?" she asked. "Her intelligence team?" "Mixed reactions," her chief analyst replied. "The Cosmic Alliance is requesting a formal defense treaty. They want guaranteed protection in exchange for exclusive trade rights." "And the Hegemony Council?" "They're being very careful not to antagonize us, but we detect signs they're developing new weapons specifically designed to counter human technology." So-Jin nodded. This was expected. Earth's demonstration of overwhelming force had prevented immediate conflicts, but it had also started an arms race as other civilizations tried to match human capabilities. "Any species showing real progress in military development?" "None that concern us. Their most advanced projects are still decades behind our current technology, and we're not standing still." This was the key advantage of Earth's 3-century development program. By the time alien civilizations began seriously trying to match human capabilities, humanity would have advanced even further. Representative Jae-Sung Park addressed the Hegemony Council's full assembly, the first human ever to speak before the galaxy's closest equivalent to a governing body. His words would reshape interstellar law and politics. "Earth seeks peaceful cooperation with all civilizations," he announced to the assembled representatives. "We have no territorial ambitions beyond our own system. We ask only that all species respect the rights of others to exist in peace." The response was immediate applause, but Jae-Sung knew it was motivated more by fear than genuine appreciation. Still, fear could be a foundation for peace if properly managed. "However," he continued, "Earth will not tolerate the destruction of innocent civilizations or the enslavement of peaceful species. We consider such actions to be crimes against all sentient life." This was the new reality of galactic politics. Earth had appointed itself as protector of the weak, enforcer of peace, and judge of what constituted acceptable behavior among civilizations. Fleet Admiral Subin Choi received reports from across Earth's patrol zones as her ships maintained order in dozens of star systems. The galaxy was more peaceful than it had been in centuries, but everyone understood that this peace depended on continued human vigilance. "Admiral," her intelligence officer reported, "we're detecting signs that several minor species are attempting to reverse engineer our technology flow.